Victory. I've decided that I can only win. Hi guys, this is week number 6 of NBaya story. I'm gonna update you on what I've done and where we're heading. It was a bit of an emotional roller coaster this week, and I made some progress in learning verse and learning how to play with it. But I think the main thing is I'm a guy, I'm a man. I always treat things like it's an IKEA furniture, which means I first try and then read the manual. It doesn't work with verse. I crashed, I tried. I think next week I need to start reading the manuals. Anyway, let me take you with me on this emotional roller coaster, let's say. I've tried in this week to pick and to see what's ahead, and it's too soon. It's too soon to look too far into the distance, but I had to. And at the beginning of the week, I thought I found a great shortcut to that mountain that I'm gonna climb. Apparently it's closed. I thought I can go through Python with Python API. That's one's blocked. And eventually I think that there is a way to save or to do the things that I want to do. It's way steeper than I imagine. It's way harder than I imagine. I need to learn a lot in order to do that, to get my mission statement of building the metaverse, a huge city. And that took me a bit like that while I'm trying to format everything, while I'm trying to build things. Let me show you what I have done this week. So this week was supposed to be about sound, but actually that went quite nice. So this is me and Alon trying to record new sound to put it in the game. Very simple things, but I need to time the sound. I need to understand how to activate it, how to close it. So I've built a small game of a fountain of cubes, something ridiculous. That's sound recording. I can't whistle. That's the sound recorder. Here's the mic. We need 3 sound. Launch. But you can do several. Do several launches now. Okay, do whatever, several launches. Just the launch. I think that's great. We have 3 sounds. That's the 3 sounds that we have. Now we're going to session updating.
Now, edit mode. Preparing.
Let's see.
Now I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool. We should do different sound for the red one. Maybe it will spin. We should. Yeah, something like that. Working with Alon and the sound was great, but I needed also to do 2 more things, or one that I've decided about, and that's doing some physics. And I'll show you the code behind the physics. It's not that straightforward if you haven't done physics coding. The AI here helped a lot. In other places it's blocked me completely and sent me on a wild goose chase. But let's see some physics programming. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have cubes dropping with sound, and once they reach the floor, they start to spin and sink. And once red cube is killed, it creates two white cubes. Let's see what does it mean to go behind the scene. Okay, so that's the code. You can see that there is a code actually for the physics. Each step of each cube is calculated, and then if it starts dropping, which means the z-axis is starting to count negative. Actually, if you think about it, the cube is flying in a parabolic arc, so once the cube z is starting to drop, that's what's written here. We start the whistle sound, and then if the cube is low, next step of the cube is low, which means this is whether the cube itself is going to be below the ground, so stop the whistle sound, and then stop the cube, set it on a certain height, and then start to spin and sink. What is spin and sink? This is spin and sink. Again, mathematics. Sinking, that's the vector for sinking, actually doing nothing on x, nothing on y, and starting to go towards that z. That's the code for spinning. Get a random number for the axis, for the angle, for the and then set the rotation, and then set the time for it. So the cube is spinning and sinking within 5 seconds. And then if it is still valid, if no one's killed it, then kill the cube. So you can see this is the mathematics behind the scene. Now let's see it again. Let's see again how it looks like. So that's the way it looks like. I'm not going to shoot anything. The cube is dropping, stop once it reaches 0, and then spins down into the floor. I see that sometimes it hardly spins and hardly drops. I need to make sure it will drop. And victory, because I've done nothing. So as you can see, I also tried to do some initial head-up display, counting the cubes. It didn't work, something there is awkward, but I need to learn that also maybe next week. I want to talk a bit about the plan and why I'm saying always that I only have 5% chance of actually making it. So when you are starting a startup or something like that, you need to break out the steps that you're going to take without any knowledge. So it's okay if you change it later on. You're just building something so you'll be able to understand where you are going to. And I've also done it. I've done it in this startup. I've decided to cut it into 4 segments of 6 months because I can't work on it all the week. You see that I only have a few hours a week. The first stage is, the first 6 months is learning, and that phase is easy. I mean, it's not easy. It's a lot of learning, but the only thing you need to do in order to complete this phase is to be stubborn. So if you do the calculation, I'm very stubborn, 90% chance I'm going to do this phase and complete it. Next 6 months are about the algorithm that I'm trying to build, and that's validating the algorithm. That's what I was speaking ahead now, too soon. That's what got me through the roller coaster of, oh, I found the path, no, there's no path. But the option for me to get a real algorithm that can work within the engine in normal time is not that high. Let's give it 30% of me succeeding to build that algorithm. But even then, even if that algorithm works and I have a huge city, a wonderful landscape created with code, that's not a game. That's not a game, that's just the scene. A game is something else. A game can be Tetris. Very simple scene, but fun. And that step from taking a great scene that you can regenerate and you can create into fun, that's the real issue. And for that stage, if I'll give myself the best options here, I only have 20% chance of winning. And if you multiply 90% times 30% times 20%, you'll notice that that's only 5% chance of succeeding. This is why I'm saying it's only 5% chance. Usually you don't invest in startups that are less than 10%. Startups should have 10% when they're starting. If you are thinking about an adventure like that, and you are seeing and you are estimating yourself at about 10% or a bit higher, do it. Do it. 10% is a valid startup at this point. The reason I can do it in 5% is because I'm investing in myself. I'm not going to get money out of it. Not now, I don't need any investment. But there's also a chance that I'll be able to pivot later on from that into something else. So just for the learning curve, just for the tools that I'll acquire through that, it's worth it even if it will not succeed. So that's the reason to invest in that. I mentioned 3 steps. And I said 2 years, that's 4 steps. First step, learning. Second step, validating the algorithm. Third step, creating a fun game. 5% to complete these 3. But actually there is a 4th one. Because even if everything succeeds, even if you have a good game in your hand, there is the marketing. You can have a great game that no one knows about. And if no one knows about, it doesn't get viral. And if it doesn't get viral, it doesn't succeed. And that last phase, I must admit, I'm not good at. I'll need a lot of help on that phase. And for that phase to succeed, actually, you can, if I'll do that calculation, I have less than 1% chance, but I'm ignoring that. I don't know how I'm going to do the marketing yet. That's a huge challenge. Huge. For me, it's regrettable. These videos are the starting point of me trying to manipulate myself, trying to work on myself for that 4th stage, for doing marketing. You can see I'm not that good at it. Maybe I'll show you how I'm struggling for this video, all the cuts that I'm doing. So the chances, the roller coaster, the sound. Oh, how can you start the video? How to start the video? Hi guys, this is week number. I hate these video hooks. I need to start with what I'm So the first, without so, why am I saying so much? Hi guys, let me see, I wrote some notes, how to start the video. I can't start it like that. I need to warm up. I don't like the way I wrote it. Okay, again. I'll cut. Again, all the cuts that I'm doing, but I need that. I need that also if I want to ever do something. So I'm teaching myself marketing through you guys. I think that's my update. I'm trying to script these videos and I hate it. I prefer to talk naturally. Okay, let's start. How guys? Hi.